Alright, welcome back to Hess's Shorties. And we're going to do this again. This is actually the third time because we're having not technical difficulties so much as I'm just not feeling that I'm putting out the right stuff here. So we're going to start back with Perizzites. Perizzites. Yeah, Perizzites. When you look it up in a Jewish name, what the name means, dwelling in villages or dwelling in rustic villages. That's 6522, and it breaks down like this. Here's the root. Root is to separate. Okay? This is how you would spell it without the vowel points. Now, let's go. 6522, Perizzites. Inhabitants of the open country. One of the Canaanite tribes. Can't get it out there, but you get the idea. 6521 is from 6519 a rustic village. That's where you get rustic village from. Hebrews 6519 will be ding, 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 from 6518 an open country, unwalled town, without walls. Unwalled village. 6518 is a decision, separate, meaning to separate, i.e. decide, a chieftain or village. A separated village. When we look at all this as a whole, the root is to separate, and it's villages. Okay, separate you from what you own, your villages? I don't know. Let's have a look at this. Pei, Resh, Zain, and a Yod. This is the root. Okay. Three-letter root. Pei, Resh, Zain. The mouth speaks. Resh, head. Okay, highest. So the mouth is the highest. The Zain is a weapon. Zain, how you want to say it? The mouth is the highest, or not the strongest, the highest weapon. Strongest, that is strong, strength. Okay? First. But it's the highest. Mouth is the highest weapon. Think what you say nasty little things, it does a lot of damage to people. Okay? In this case, the mouth is the highest weapon, and it's strong. Okay? Seeing how we're dealing with spirits, I believe, because the way it was just thrown out there, it's 10 things you have to overcome. It doesn't actually. Most people say, that was, the people of the land. It doesn't actually say that. It turns out it is, but what I'm getting at is, why do you name yourself dwelling in villages? Okay, or Hittites, broken by terror. What? Why would you name your child that? It's like the Northern Americans, when they used to come out of their teepees and they would see an eagle flying. Eagle, or you see a cloud, and that's where you get cloud from. Gray wolf, whatever. It's the same principle. Okay? Anyway, Perizzites, there's Perizzites, however you want to say it. Apathy is a good way to put this. And not apathy so much as you're dwelling in villages. What it is the voice. The voice is the strongest weapon, and it's being used against you. You have to be able to identify which ones they are to help the Father. Okay, look, he's saying such and such. And it's coming true. These are not the false accusations or gossip, which you'll find are other spirits. These are the ones that are coming true, that are nasty. Such as, you're going to end up, you and her go like that, you're going to end up in a divorce. Or, you're going to end up in a wreck. You're going to end up dead. Those are the kind of things we're talking about here. Stuff that's actually coming true. Because if you're dwelling in an unwalled, at the time, if you're dwelling in an unwalled village, you're open to everything. Anything running by down the road can come in there and wipe you out. Think about all the TV shows we've seen about, like Robin Hood and all that stuff, how easy it was for everybody to just waltz right in there. They had no defense. That's why, in the time, cities had walls. All of them did. It's where you get the needle gate from, by the way, just to help you out. Let's switch over to the Rephaims. Okay, when you break it down, which we are going to do now. Rephaims. I'm so glad I put this on this computer. That is a Rapha, which is very weird. That's why I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody knows what this is. Okay, this is, yes, I know, people. I should have it all set up. But, before we get down, you see that? There's two scrolls that you wind back and forth. When you hear about Torah Scrolls, this is what they're talking about. Okay? The Torah. Yes, I know. The reason I did that is because I don't like them to come apart. But the Torah Scrolls, which is what I'm dealing with right here, is, I have a book too, which is actually faster, but I ran into a problem here. If you'll note, 7497 and 7495 are spelled actually the same way, and therein lies the problem. Anyway, this is what you would see in synagogues throughout the world, except a very much bigger set. Because this here, I got to have a magnifying glass to look at. I mean, my eyes are kind of faded a little bit as it is, but that's even worse. Anyway, yeah, no, I ain't got them set quite right. I'll get it eventually, people. There we go. And of course he knocks it right back off again. Anyway, this is a Torah scroll, and yes, I got it out to look because I ran into this problem. So this is the seal of the Ten Commandments, and it's the Torah, first 5 books of the Bible. And this is what you get when you need to know something. That's why they do this. In fact, did you know, just out of little side note, that all kings, according to the Torah, all the rulers of Israel are supposed to write one of these by hand himself. Why? So then he would know the law, which you would think that you would want your ruler to know. You know that he's not supposed to do these things to you. Just to let you know. And I also have one of these, which is a Green's interlinear, just in case you all might be curious. It looks something like that. I know, it's Hebrew. To find out, because I don't want to tell you something I don't know. Sometimes I don't know things. I'll let you know. And I wanted to know which one of these was, because I realized that these things here are phonetically, they're said the same, they're spelled the same. There's both of these words. I mean, either one you look up, this is what you get. I wanted to see what was actually in the scriptures, and it's this one. To help you out. Now, we'll get into 7497 is Raphael or Rapha from 7495 in the sense of invigorating a giant. Rapha, Raphaim, Rephaims, also see 51 or 1051, which we are looking up now. 1051 is Beth Rapha, which is house of giant or house of the giant, depending on how you're looking at it. Which is kind of scary. Beth, by the way, and the other ones it says you look up just to keep you from having to, is Beth is house. Okay. Anyway, 7495, which I think I've already read. No, I have not. Because I ran into the same thing before. For some reason, that particular lookup is giving me the Greek dictionary. 7495 is proper to mend by stitching, i.e. figuratively to cure, cause to heal, physician, repair, externally, make whole. And 7503 is Rapha, same thing again, a primitive root to slacken in many applications, literally or figuratively, abate, cease, consume, draw, towards evening, fail, faint, be wax, feeble, forsake, idle, leave, let alone, be slack, stay, be still, be slothful, weaken. Basically the root is slothful or weaken. Slack, you know, to remove. Now, giants, physicians, relaxed is what you get, believe it or not, when you look up what the name means. And remember, everything's in the name, and a sentence is actually in the name. You know, I didn't look up the root. There is no. The roots are the same. So, anyway, it's the resh, or head, pay, voice, or speak. This leaf is always silent, so, but it's the strongest. Not the house, the strongest. Or not to reveal. So the head speaks strong. The highest speaks strong. Kind of points me to giants. If you think about a giant's higher than you, he would always, the mouth would always be higher, the highest mouth. Okay, strongest mouth, high. Any way you look at it, okay, this is dealing with a giant. And these are things like Zerubbabel's mountain. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about in the Old Testament, but anything that's beyond our ability. You look at it and you're just looking up going, there's no way I could ever climb that mountain, whatever it may be that's in your life. And I believe that's what it's talking about. And it's trying to get you to either forget about it or scare you, whatever. That's the root of it, is to make you slothful. Well, I'll get to it tomorrow. Or it makes you weak. It's like, that's just too big. Ain't no way to take that puppy on. I just have to let it go. Whatever it is. I'm just hoping that kind of gets you an idea of what's going on with this, alright? So Rephaims, giants, be aware of them. And we're not talking physical, although that may be down the road here shortly. We're talking spiritual. This is all spiritual 101 stuff. This is the spirits that apparently we're going to have to deal with to get to the promised land. Okay? Like I said, giants make you run away. Physicians, think about that. Physicians, I can also relate that to pharmacia, which is pharmaceuticals, and not the good kind. When you look at giants, you get stoned, which makes you relaxed, slothful, and weak. Could be that way too. You see how what I'm talking about? It might have multiple applications, but he's trying to get us to look at these things for a reason. I'm more along it's giants, and it's a giant thing in front of us that we have to get away from, or we feel that we can't overcome, and we have to have Him to do it, because He says He'll do it. Anyway, shalom. If these are helping you, pass them on. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Amen.